Hello, everyone. Welcome in. My name is Amanda, and this month's tarot reading is going to be an audit, which will invite the ambitious creatives, the visionaries, and individuals to awaken their strengths, dissolve blocks, and seize the opportunities that are ahead in the upcoming month of February. These messages today will offer some grounded insights to help you navigate the month with a little more ease and give you actionable steps towards your boldest vision. As always, take what resonates, leave the rest. You have 3 piles to choose from today. Pick one or all 3. Timestamps are in the description. Trust your gut, pick your path, and let's get into it. Hello, my Soul Path 1. Welcome in. You chose the red jasper stone. And we are going to start with a singular card for the energy or the focus for the upcoming month for you. And then we'll get into details with tarot. May or may not expand upon these messages with the oracle card, but we will see. For Soul Path 1, soul. So there's something within your soul that you could be wanting to express here in the upcoming month. There's also something to do with allowing your expression out a little bit more. That could be communication. That could be through artistic or creative practices. That could also be in spaces of stillness like meditation, somatic work, breath work. So let's just put that over there and get into the tarot, hopping straight in to get some information about the month ahead. What is ready to awaken for you, what is blocking the way or challenging you, and the invitation. We'll also look at beneath the surface as well, which is always good to know. So what's ready to awaken for you in the month of February? We have the moon in reverse. I love that. You could have, in previous months, gone through a lot of Q&A where you were inquiring, maybe having conversations with your intuition about where to go next. There could have been a lot of confusion, a lot of mystery around what it is that you wanted to do, where it is that you wanted to go. Maybe how to answer questions. I feel like the more you tried to answer the questions, the more questions came up for you. And so it was a bit of, up to this point, I feel like something has been illuminated because of that process. So what's ready to be awakened now, I feel something has been illuminated. Something has been clarified. You may not have all of the answers. You may not be able to see the entire path ahead, but there's a lot more that you know now than you did before. So I feel it's now integrating that, understanding that, maybe even implementing it to some degree. This could have to do with part of your identity or the soul expression we talked about, maybe expressing certain parts of you a little bit more, whether that's in your work or in your personal life. Yeah, it's almost like you sat with your soul for a long time. You sat with the discomfort. You sat with the mystery. You sat with the questions. You sat with the things that kind of, I was going to say bubbled in your subconscious, but it kind of sat in the shadow a little bit. So let's see what is blocking the way in the month of February, or what might challenge you. We have the Hierophant in reverse, and this makes a lot of sense because I feel that you have come into some kind of more authentic expression of some sort. You have almost broken away from some kind of pattern, routine, belief system, and maybe even knowledge. Something that you were rooted into is now been broken away from. And this, I feel, has been intuitively guided. This is something that you felt needed to happen, but there could have been a lot of fear in doing that. I feel now the month of February is putting that into action and really unraveling some of the stories in real time. So now that you've understood some information, that you've gained or gleaned some answers in these darker spaces. It's now time to put that into action and align that, implement that into your day-to-day life, into your processes, into your routine, into the things that you now want to make as part of your makeup or your structure within your day-to-day, within your life, within your work. And I feel like this goes against the grain of every conditioned belief or sentiment that you have maybe attached yourself to. So for example, a very easy example of that is you've been doing business a certain way for a really long time. And you get to a point where, holy cow, this thing that I built, that I so lovingly built over a period of years, no longer aligns with who I'm feeling I need to step into, who I want to be, who I want to serve, what I want to offer. And so a lot of questions come up in that space because this is a significant identity shift from where I am and what I've built, and now having to unravel that and do something in a different way. So the Hierophant in reverse is a challenge because it requires you to do things differently, maybe even opposing the things that you've done before. So a process that you now have to switch up and make anew again. A belief that you have to unravel and reaffirm in a new way. So the invitation is the Chariot. Have confidence, my friends. And you have all three major arcanas here. So this is a pretty big deal. I feel you are making big moves in the month of February, but I feel they could be a lot of little things that equal big events. So it's not just something that happens and sweeps in overnight and boom, you're done. You're finished whatever quest you've been on. This is now doing the big, bold power moves that align with your values, that align with who you are trying to move towards or what you are trying to move towards in a very confident way, in a very balanced way, taking that action to gain momentum. So the invitation is taking everything you've learned, everything that you've learned in both success and failure, and allowing that to move you forward to create momentum and having confidence in that direction. Look at that. 10 of Cups, bottom of the deck, is the current that is beneath the surface, your intuitive knowing, or the subtle force that is guiding you. So you could be trying to find more loving support, more loving communities, or just communities that you align with a little bit more, that feel a little more supportive, or that you can support. This also feels like you are trying to move towards some kind of ideal, whether it be in your work, your personal life, or just in your personal expression as well. You want to feel a sense of fulfillment and wholeness and reciprocity. You want to have that loving connection with people and have that be something that flows back and forth very effortlessly, something that doesn't have to be forced, something that creates a sense of belonging. You're trying to create that for yourself, but possibly also others as well. So you could be connecting in with soul family, you could be creating a community or wanting to create a community. So this is about alignment within before that external thing happens, and how you are taking steps towards doing that. What are the things that you've learned about business, about yourself up until this point, and how can you use that to inform your way forward through practical strategy, through processes? Feel like there's a lot of big moves for you here in the month of February. There is feeling good and satisfied and fulfilled within who you are, what you're doing, and the people that you surround yourself with. So make sure to bring awareness to that as well. So these are the messages I have for you today, my Soul Path 1. If this hit home, share in the comments. I would love to hear, and subscribe so you don't miss the next reading. And if you feel called to explore these themes more deeply, you're welcome to join us over on Patreon. That's where I share extended reflections and deeper guidance around the energies that we are working with over there. And remember, you are not here to wait for your future. You are here to create it. I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, Soul Path 2. Welcome into your reading. You chose the Dragonstone, or is it the Dragon's Bloodstone or Dragonstone? Either way, it's a Dragonstone of some kind. So let's first get into a focus card or a theme card for your month ahead, and then we'll get straight into the tarot. So there's something here to embrace. I'm not sure what that is specifically. This could be offering yourself a little more love in the month of February, embracing something new. But let's get into it with the tarot. We'll look at what's ready to awaken, what's blocking the way or challenging you, and an invitation that you can take into the month of February. We'll also look at the current that is running beneath the surface, which could be your intuitive knowing or a subtle force that is guiding you. So what's ready to awaken for you in the month of February for Soul Path 2, please? Thank you. We have the Seven of Wands. That is fearlessness. That is standing up for your truth, standing up for the things that you want to achieve, maybe advocating for other people as well. This is a bit of warrior energy, overcoming challenges in its very simplest form, overcoming opposition, the things that are challenging you right now, whatever they may be. I feel that you are ready to step up to the plate and really go to bat, if you will, to overcome those challenges. There could be many that you're facing right now, and that is carrying over into the month of February. This could be differing opinions. This could be people telling you what you should and shouldn't do. This could just be general challenges that you are moving through within your business, career, or life. But this is also a test of will, a test of strength, of how much do you want that thing, or it's getting you to check in with your values and whether or not this thing is worth the fight, if this thing is worth the effort, the energy that you're putting towards it. So it's a bit of I want to say it's a reality check. Sevens are usually a test of some kind, testing your strength, testing your patience, to ensure that what it is that you're standing up for is worthy of your time, is something that is aligned with you, is something that is aligned to your values, aligned to what it is you want to achieve, or are there some adjustments that need to be made there? So this is just a double check, like, hey, is this good? Are you good? That doesn't necessarily mean that the quote fight or the challenge or the test won't be challenging. Or that you will move through that challenge. You might decide at this juncture that, oh, you know what, I don't really want to do that thing in the end. And so there's a redirection involved. But then if it's like, yeah, no, this is important to me, this is what I want, this is what I want to move towards. So we're gonna push through, we're gonna overcome. So what's blocking the way or challenging you? We'll keep that one in mind. I do want to look at that one. It kind of flopped. 4 of Cups in reverse with the 5 of Cups. So your challenge feels emotional in nature and not getting overwhelmed with past disappointments or failures, I feel, is the guidance with that challenge. You may also have to let go of something here, or let go of something finally, to be able to move forward. And that may be the test that you're moving through. Is what you want worth letting go of something else? So there is an element of grief that comes along with that, a feeling of loss. There's also something about processing the past, processing disappointments or resentments, and really feeling into those to be able to let them go. So the release that you might be challenged by this month may not be physical or tangible in nature. It could be emotional instead. You know, if that's something that you are moving through, then allow yourself the time to process those feelings. It may not be easy, but just because of this challenge does not mean that it's going to end up the same as it did before, or doesn't mean that it's the wrong path or the wrong opportunity. Sometimes we don't know that until we move through it. Maybe move through it differently than we did before. Approach it differently than we did before. And that's part of that 7 is as well. So what is my strategy to overcoming? What is my plan? Especially after you've checked in and said, yes, I want to move forward. So let's look at the invitation, what you're being called to do right now. We have the Page of Wands in reverse. So pages are quite curious folks. They are the children of the tarot. So there's a lot of curiosity to learn. There's a lot of exploration energy, a lot of, let's do this thing and deal with consequences later. So it's that trial and error. It's the experimenting. It's the curiosity. Right now it's in reverse though. So I feel like your invitation is to pause, because there's either something to embrace, something to understand, or there's a timing aspect involved. It's interesting that you have 2 wands, so I feel like you are a very ambitious person, possibly a very creative person, but you're stuck. There's also a fear that's coming through. Fear of making mistakes, fear of failing in public, fear of not doing well, not being creative enough. So you could be coming up against your own personal blocks here. And the invitation is to look at those blocks right now, to look at how those fears or maybe even self-imposed beliefs are keeping you stuck, are keeping you blocked from moving forward. It's almost as if you have to embrace those as part of the process. If you embrace this idea that you do have a perfectionist side, then how can you work with that a little bit? How can you soften that a little bit? How can you ease whatever part of you feels unsafe or vulnerable when it comes to creation or stepping out into the world? Rather than call defeat and say, okay, this perfectionist, I'll never get this project off the ground because of this perfectionism. Rather than having that be the end result, how can you use that to maybe get a little messy, to make more mistakes, to experiment more, lean hard into those things so that you can tell your nervous system or tell your inner child that you are safe to play. You are safe to be creative. You are safe to make mistakes. That failing is okay because it's information that you can use to move forward. 4 of Swords at the bottom of the deck here. So this kind of clarifies that energy of pause, pausing to reflect. I think you're ready to push forward, but I don't think that that's the energy that should be officially embraced. I feel like the pause needs to be embraced before the push. So pausing to really reflect on, the disappointments and the heartbreaks and the loss that you've had to move through. Understanding how difficult that is, understanding and honoring that process of grief, of loss. Rather than pushing to be perfect, maybe it is accepting this part of you that is imperfect, that makes mistakes, and maybe even using those mistakes to your advantage in some way. So taking pause, taking a step back, reflecting on how you might be able to do that, so that you can open up to more creativity, so that you can settle your nervous system, so that you can embrace all of the experience as a whole, the good, the bad, the ugly, and relieve the pressure. I feel like you put a lot of pressure on yourself to perform, to be somebody with high standards, to be somebody without fault or flaws. So part of February is to embrace all of it, not just your successes, not just the things that you do well, but the things that you may not do so well, and let that be okay. So these are the messages I have for you today, my dear Soul Path 2. If this hit home, share in the comments and subscribe so you don't miss the next reading. If you feel called to explore these themes more deeply, you're welcome to join us on Patreon. That's where I share extended reflections and deeper context around the energies that we're working with over there. Remember, you're not here to wait for your future. You are here to create it. I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, my Soul Path 3. Welcome in. You chose the Amethyst crystal. And we are going to start with an opening card. This could be a focus or an inspiration or monthly theme for the month of February for you. For Soul Path 3, okay, we have 2. We have work and transform. So there could be something around your work that you would like to transform or change. There's also something about freedom from work as well. So you could be trying to get out of a job or find a new job, maybe start a new business so you have more freedom within your life. But there's definitely something that you would like to change within your working life. And that may even require you to transform something within self or transform the job itself. I'm not sure. So let's look at Soul Path 3, your monthly audit. What is ready to awaken? What's blocking the way or challenging you? And the invitation, as well as the current that runs beneath the surface. And this could be your inner knowing or a subtle force that is inspiring this path. So what is ready to awaken in the month of February for Soul Path 3, please? 9 of Swords in reverse. I like that a lot for you. This is a release of stress, anxiety, tension, maybe even getting some kind of assistance with this, maybe to transform something that's going on in the mind that you haven't been able to problem solve or resolve on your own. So this is getting an outside perspective. This is even finding relief with that in some regard. So whatever you're ruminating on, whatever might be a stressor or an anxiety, I feel like that could possibly be relieved for you. But that's also what is ready to awaken as well. So you might actively have to participate in that energy in order to finally find relief from it. So how can you work to transform that? That could be part of that energy there. That focus. So what's blocking the way? What's challenging you here? It's the block. Ooh, okay, 5 of Swords. That's not a great energy. This is, I always get critic with this. So this could be an external force, somebody that is being unkind. This could be group dynamics that are really tense, that are really stressful. You could be dealing with a lot of stress at work as it relates to your coworkers or your boss or somebody that just feels like they're really difficult to be around, difficult to communicate with. This could also be part of your energy too, where there's a lot of really tense energy within you. So that could be part of what's going on here, is that the focus needs to be about releasing some of that tension, what's really going on under the surface. But that's also what's blocking you as well, is that you're having a tough time communicating clearly with someone in your life to come up with some kind of solution. Maybe you felt like you've had to deal with this on your own and maybe make the changes on your own to find a solution, but it requires the other party to be able to hold up a certain end of their bargain to be able to find that balance. So the tension, the stress, the disharmonious communications. Yeah, for the Emperor here, this is your invitation. Stand firm, stand strong. There's a diplomacy with the Emperor. There's a commitment to the big vision. So rather than nitpicking on some of the details, are there things that you can let go of within this conversation? Oftentimes the 5 of Swords can be about fighting to be right, and that may not be you, that may be the other person, but definitely check in with that. Because these conversations that we're having, they could be very futile, where no matter what you say, how many different ways you say it, there is no changing this person's mind. There is no changing the direction of this conversation or this outcome. So are you involved in conversations with people that are going nowhere, that have no impact or influence on the final destination of this all? This feels like it's a very zoomed out energy. Like part of your guidance is to zoom out and see the big picture, to take higher ground and decide to not get involved in petty discussions that are simply just there to irritate you, to distract you, to frustrate you, and take your eyes off of the main goal. So it's about transforming, interesting, I said transferring your energy to something bigger, to something more creative, to something more solid that is about where you would like to go, what you would like to build. This is stepping into leadership, confidence, and initiation. So this almost feels like controlling a conversation. This could also be within your mind as well, taking a leadership role in that internal conversation as well, to actively say to maybe a lower part of you that wants to create tension and stress and panic within you, to say, hold on, is this helpful? Is this hurtful? Is this going to allow us to move towards the bigger goal, to move forward with whatever we would like to move forward on? So it's almost taking a higher perspective on things. It's also finding a level of control within yourself to discern more clearly about what's important to the end goal and what's not. And then the Six of Cups in reverse is the current that is beneath the surface here. Could be your intuitive knowing or a subtle force that is influencing this right now. This could have something to do with a past relationship. It may not have anything to do with work, but it could be affecting your work. So there's a level of emotional detachment that is almost required in this. Not to say that you don't care, but a detachment to maybe the end result, the outcome, or the need to change this person or this situation. Can it be changed? Can it be influenced? Can you work together to do that in tandem, or do you need to detach and move on from that and move on to something else? So there's something about detaching from a past situation or a situation with someone that you've been in for some time, to be able to find more empowerment, sovereignty, and authority over how you engage with this particular situation, to be able to relieve stress and the responsibility to manage it yourself, and to be the only one that is responsible for this, and to take back your power in some regard, to take the air out of this conversation, so that you can move on, so that you can be more productive, so that you can feel more grounded within yourself and within a situation that you might find yourself in. So this is the message I have for you today, my dear Soul Path 3. If this hit home, share in the comments and subscribe so you don't miss the next reading. And if you feel called to explore these themes more deeply, you're welcome to join us over on Patreon. That's where I share extended reflections and deeper context around the energies we're working with over there. Remember, you're not here to wait for your future, you're here to create it. I'll see you in your next reading.